Head covering. Tradition or Torah? In recent months, a quiet storm has been stirring within Messianic congregations around the world. The question? Should men cover their heads in worship? Is it just tradition drawn from Talmudic custom? Or is it Torah, a divine instruction rooted in the Word of Yahweh Himself? Some dismiss the practice as man-made, while others believe it carries deeper, sacred meaning. So, let's return back to the beginning. So, let's dive into it. In the beginning, the garment of light. In the book of Genesis, we read that Elohim created man in his image and likeness, clothed not in flesh, but in light. Psalm 104 declares, "You, Yahweh, cover yourself with light as with a garment." Adam was first covered in kavod, divine glory, until sin stripped him bare. After the fall, the Hebrew words change, from aram, partially naked, to rom, utterly exposed. The covering of light was gone. Flesh replaced glory, and Yahweh, in mercy, clothed mankind again, with the skins of a substitute. Moses our example. The shepherd's covering. When Yahweh called Moses from the burning bush, he said, "Remove your shoes, for the ground is set apart." Yet, note this, Yahweh never told him to uncover his head. In the desert heat, Moshe, a shepherd, surely wore a cloth to shield himself from the blazing sun. Later, when Israel sinned at Mount Horeb, Yahweh commanded them to remove their ornaments, their headpieces, as a sign of disgrace. The priestly glory was stripped from them and given instead to the sons of Levi, those who had not bowed to the golden calf. The priestly garments. Glory and comeliness. In Exodus 28, Yahweh commands that priestly garments be made for glory and for beauty. Each piece, the robe, the sash, the turban, carried sacred meaning. The high priest was forbidden to uncover his head, even in mourning. Why? Because his covering symbolized the constant presence of the Elohim, the Spirit of Yahweh. And today, as followers of Yahshua, our eternal high priest after the order of Melchizedek, we too are called a royal priesthood. The covering reminds us of that divine office. The bridegroom and the king, crowned in splendor. Isaiah 61 paints a vivid picture. As a bridegroom decks himself with ornaments, the Hebrew word pir means headdress, beauty, splendor. Even King David, the man after Yahweh's own heart, prayed with his head covered, ascending the Mount of Olives, weeping and barefoot, his heart broken before Elohim. Yahweh heard him. The covering wasn't ritual, it was reverence. The prophets and the exile. In the fire, yet covered. In Babylon, the righteous stood firm. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into the fire with their turbans on, refusing to bow to foreign gods. And in Ezekiel 24, Yahweh himself commands, "Put your turban upon your head." Even in exile, the covering remained a mark of identity and covenant. The New Covenant understanding. Misunderstood Scripture. Many point to 1 Corinthians 11 verse 4, "Every man praying with his head covered dishonors his head." But the Greek word used, katakalupto, means to veil or conceal the face, not to wear a covering above it. Paul wasn't condemning head coverings. He was addressing pagan temple practices, men who veiled themselves like women in idolatrous worship. The issue was confusion of roles, not the act of covering the head in honor of Yahweh. Restoration and royalty. Training for reigning. The prophet Hosea said, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." When we forget his Torah, we lose his glory, trading honor for shame. But through Yahshua, the covering is restored that we wrap ourselves in his righteousness, in the garments of salvation, with the helmet of salvation upon our heads. The taulet, prayer shawl, the kippah, or any modest covering, becomes a symbol of that restored priesthood. We are training for reigning as priests in Yahweh's kingdom to come. Conclusion. Covered in his glory. Whether you wear a kippah, a cap, or a simple cloth, let it remind you of the greater covering, his presence. Not tradition, not religion, but revelation. For in his light, we are clothed again. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share for more scriptural insight and spiritual revelation. Shalom and blessings in Yahshua's name.